Thing about NESARA, it is the National Economic Securities and Restoration Act. What it is it's basically a debt reset and will also return our currency back to gold-backed currency. It will also restore the original Constitution of the United States. And also, it will restore constitutional law, which is the most important thing. We have been living under corruption for too long. The NESARA project began in the 1950s and was ultimately carried out by a group of men called the White Knights. White Knights consisted of military and civilians. For many decades, the Federal Reserve and the central banking system took away family farms by using fraudulent foreclosures with the help of the IRS. Eventually, the farmers got sick of it and got together and sued the non-federal Federal Reserve, the IRS, and the government. Retired General Schwarzenegger, he led that charge. After those farmers and many others won lawsuits in court against the central banks and the non-federal Federal Reserves proving fraudulent foreclosures, a new act was written called the National Economic Securities and Restoration Act and was then passed by Congress in 2000. And then it was signed into law on October 10th, 2000 by Bill Clinton. Once this act was signed by Bill Clinton by the persuasion of the military, it then became law. But Bill Clinton didn't want to implement NESARA, as part of NESARA requires that the president step down. Okay, you're asking why can't you find NESARA in the Congressional Library? Let's dig in because this is where it gets interesting. Just after Bill Clinton signed NESARA into law, the United States Supreme Court placed a gag order on anyone who knew about NESARA law. And it was never put into the Congressional Library. The government even started 2 different websites in order to discredit the NESARA law. One is nesara.com, the other is nesara.org. Look it up. It's government. Here's the actual law, so pay attention. Zeroes out all credit card, mortgage, and other bank debt due to illegal banking practices. Abolishes the income tax because income tax is illegal. Because let's talk about the IRS. The IRS is simply a collection company for the 13 families who own the non-federal Federal Reserve. Holy shit! And if you don't believe me, can you tell me why Chase Bank signs the return receipt requested when you send payment into the IRS? What? And not to mention, do the math on how much we are sending the IRS every year. Yet we're still in debt. Yet our roads are still shit. Our teachers get paid shit. Where's all money going? Yeah, it goes to the 13 families. It doesn't go to the U.S. Also, it would create a flat tax on non-essential items when you buy them. No more income tax, no more IRS. In fact, we would actually be paying the Treasury of the United States. Increases benefits to seniors. It restores the constitutional law to all courts and legal matters. Reinstates the original title of nobility amendment. It establishes a new constitutional, presidential, and congressional election within 120 days of the announcement of NESARA. The interim government would then cancel all national emergencies and constitutional law would be restored. It monitors all elections and prevents any cheating from any foreign adversaries. It creates a new treasury rainbow currency that is backed by gold and all precious metal. It forbids the sale of American birth certificate records as chattel property bonds by the U.S. Department of Transportation. Oh, weird. Who knew the Department of Transportation was making $100,000 a year on my birth certificate? Initiates a new U.S. Treasury bank system in alignment with constitutional law. No more central banks that are owned by the 13 families. Restores financial privacy, retrains all judges and attorneys in constitutional law, since we've been living under corrupt judges and attorneys. Establishes peace worldwide, no more military actions, brings home all the troops. Releases enormous sums of money for humanitarian purposes. Releases cures for all of the man-made diseases like cancer and AIDS. What? Holy shit, who knew they had cures?